Where guys is a psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve problems, challenges, obstacles in our lives, as well as a subsequent process to reach life goals and ambitions of ourselves, as well as those around us. A very brief introduction, a brief summary of how we run the Ahn Rho Project in the domains of life, substitutes, narrative, so on and so forth. You can check out the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years straight to January 2021 and beyond for more updated versions. That being said, I'm going to do a solid 12 override. And things are really just jumping ahead in terms of like system override versions. I've really got to start jotting down what they mean and saving it somewhere so that I understand what each version, each revolution means in terms of patch notes and changes. In Solve 12, if you take a look, this entire live stream is mostly dedicated to this concept, the next step. So I've come to a point, right, in, I guess, managing, just living in general, right? The Ahn Rho Project was birthed off of being able to solve the puzzle of life. And what's come down to now is I have so many things going on that record keeping, bookkeeping becomes incredibly impractical. It's not feasible. I just can't do it on a sustained basis the way that I'm doing it now, and I have to evolve even further if I really want to record this. And the fact is, I do want to record. I want to continue making live streams that cover the amount of activity and meaning and just overall everything that goes around in life onto some sort of, not just a book, but some sort of engaging visual audio format like a live stream. Right, something that is a visual, auditory, and textual medium, not just a book, and certainly not just by video, but like something that's like fully comprehensive, because eventually this is supposed to be beneficial, useful for other people, not now, not yet, but eventually. So with that being said, Solve 12 is basically, we'll reach a point where Solve 10 was kind of like this point of evolution, where it's trying to make every activity sequenced series by series as a continuum from the previous live stream, so they're all kind of collected together, and there's a massive title reworking there, and it was also marked by the same moment during Solve 10 that we had to sort of overcome 30 years of narcissistic abuse, from malignant narcissism as well as vulnerable. So it was really a stepping point, right? It was more like a monumental moment that spurred me to link everything together. And then Solve 11, and there was a bunch of like mini steps in the evolution of in the building of continuity and a fluidity of between each live streams, connecting each live stream with each other in Solve 10. But Solve 11 next to that was really honing on the fact that if I'm going to link all of these continuous fluid live streams together fluidly with life itself, with what I actually do physically, emotionally, mentally in the real world, I need a database that's going to link every single frame, every screenshot, photograph, topic of discussion, task, item that I do, that I execute on, right? Anything that we do in life that you may do. You go get the groceries, you see your girlfriend or your wife or your kids, all that kind of jazz. I'm not just sure what happened there. It's my phone rang. But basically, linking all that stuff with an actual database that would be useful to you to say, oh, I can manage all these things. So having a database that you maybe use Microsoft Access or MySQL or I don't know, even like Excel or Notepad. So just being able to link it all together and then compile it and then be able to sort and prioritize, like a pivot table, kind of stuff like that. That's a very basic purpose. Obviously it gets more advanced. That was Solve 11, and in order to do that, of course, in Solve 11, I had to have a real framework, key framework, just like in Solve 10, where every screenshot of all the photography and materials are posted on each live stream. Now we're getting to the point where we have so much in backlog now, so we're at why we had to move on to Solve 12, or I should really say 11.5, because it's not really that big of a leap yet. Well, actually, it's a big enough leap that I need to go another step further. So solve 12 is, I'm most likely not going to. First of all, there are two hiccups here. First of all, of the two things, Wi-Fi is going down, so we have to accommodate for the fact that we simply cannot get live streams or content, not even live streams, but videos, not even videos, but like podcasts, not even podcasts, but like text. We can't get audio, text, visual, anything out without, like some basic things, like what happens if my software breaks down, what if my phone is lost, what if the laptop crashes and there's no internet and no Wi-Fi, like what's happening now. So in the past recent days, 3 days, I haven't made a live stream at all, and the Wi-Fi has been pretty shit. Again, I'm working off the limitations of, low poverty income kind of thing. The Wi-Fi never really works here. It's always kind of, you never really know what's gonna happen. And so it's like, I just can't anticipate a consistent schedule right now. And the question is, that doesn't stop the project. Nothing stops the project. Walter White, Breaking Bad, right? Heisenberg. Nothing stops this train, okay? This train keeps moving. So the fact is, I can't just, cut off the live stream in the middle and expect, people to just go like, oh, I don't want to do that myself, because like the live stream is supposed to be useful for me, right? So the end of the day is, when it comes to things like practicality of the live stream, I have to find ways, workaround methods, and this is already, we knew this like years ago. Every person creating content who puts it out in the world has to, find a way to make their schedule and logistics work out properly. I already knew that. It's just that I never really had to contend with that as seriously as I did now, which is that's where the point is right now. The first thing is I have to find a way to do that and solve 12, and solve 12 is really the solution. The second thing that was in the way, so like practical technical issues like that, Wi-Fi issues, just residential issues, living quarters, problems with where you're living, and being unable to release anything into the world, unable to produce or release it. The second thing outside is not just technical incapability based off like utilities, no internet, that kind of stuff. It's a management and practicality. It's a completely this. That's one, right? So I have 20. I have like 25 of these. 25 of these mass. There's so much content to make live streams like this, 15 minutes long. There has to be each of those 25. Each of that's easily over 500 photographs, and each photograph represents a task, action, and activity that you might do in life that is important. Certain weightings of importance of prioritizations, like finance, employment, business, priorities, like that's management, right? And so on and so forth, like life principles. So it's just so much now that I just cannot like I said, the Wi-Fi is not working right now. I just know if I turn to the side here, there's a warning here. As such, all right. So, frustration actually, this technical issue of what's going on. And even if I get the live streams out, it won't be good enough. Like this is a major hitting point now. I cannot. First of all, I can't get the textual medium out to cover. I simply can't get it done in a reasonable, feasible amount of time using. The fact is, what's happening is this as a backlog. If you take life, let me give an example here, right? Like all of these here, all these like tiny little things that go on in life, and it's really a question of, all right, you have all this shit in the backdrop, and that's all the physical stuff, but we're not even done yet, right? All this stuff, and I have to now say 25 by 27, which is tax actions, and save them into like my phone and copy and duplicate and make a backup of it on my laptop and say that's stuff. But like at this point, it's just recording, capturing what happens in life is taking a back seat to actually doing things in life, right? And that has always been the case, except now I have so much to do physically that I can't record anymore physically. So that's how bad. That's how. Anyway, I was gonna say is general adulthood. You're gonna be tripping over 5, 10 other things that come up. A family, like running a business, there's always going to be and you got to find a way to manage the unmanageable. So that's the backlog. So in Solve 12, what do I have to just illustrate in the last 2 minutes? There's a lot of stuff here that I can't cover in right? The screenshots, I have to take even a photo in physical form. So a lot of things are going to become, which is usually the physical component of like the most active engaging part of streaming. Physical stuff, like I go about, like we actually a lot of that into phase 2 by virtue of the solution we're providing in Solve 12, the system override 12. We're going to take photographs of because we can't cover it in the example. We have all these that's it. I can't cover it on stream. Same thing here on the floor. Readings from my colleagues at the workplace. I want to show gratitude for like Pringles chips, but I also like home. I have all this stuff here like garbage. Jesus, the most important thing is this. I mean, there's more food, orange here. I have to get the groceries here, but most importantly, I have to go later today. Really importantly, I have to go renew my driver's license and so on and so forth. So that's really important. It's like government issued ID kind of stuff, right? That's important. But card this, but like I said, I can't the mops inside. I can't even do that on streaming, but that's how little time I have. It's just too low item priority. So it's actually quite dirty, but yeah. So then I'm gonna have to clean everything in the room, and it's just nuts. I have 15 seconds left right now, so backlogged, and we're gonna get out